That's good.
So in the book, you mention, and we could go into like the different, like, opening a set, what that means, obviously stacking material, having cool stories, etc. Could we talk about what the attraction triggers are? If I'm not mistaken, I believe there were 7.
Well, I teach a top 5.
Okay.
I'm sure there are many. There are maybe 30 of them.
Yeah.
We can go into, minutia, but the top 5 to me are, number 1 is pre-selection.
Bam. Okay.
You can save the step of having to get to know, or rather, a woman can save the step of having to get to know you if she sees that you are attractive to other women. If they see you with women, you have what we call pre-selection. And that is, in my opinion, 80% of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are additional attraction switches. There's leader of men, protector of loved ones, having a willingness to emote, and showing that you're a successful risk taker. Those are the top 5 in my book, literally.
Guys, in the chat, get your pens and papers out because we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff like this. So I'm going to write, so risk taker, leader of men, protector.
Protector of loved ones.
Uh-huh.
If she becomes a valued member of your social circle, she too will be protected by you and your social circle. That's quite powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Becoming friends with Will Smith and having his resources available widens and improves your chances of survival, and that's important in life.
Yep.
So risk taker,
that's attraction.
Protector, pre-selection, leader of men, and then what was the last one again?
A willingness to emote. Oh, okay. Successful risk taker is the last one.
Willingness to emote. Can you explain what willingness
to emote is? To show a rich range of emotion.
Okay.
Not to just monotone it and be too cool for school, or
charisma.
Take your smile and it never goes away. So they can't trust your expressions.
Gotcha.
You want to show a rich range of expression and emotion in your storytelling. It's much more captivating.
Now, real fast. So you mentioned, being a risk taker, protector of loved ones, pre-selection, leader of men, willingness to emote, which, you can say that's like charisma, charm, being animated, being someone that's able to convey a story in an interesting manner. Now, when you, in your book, you talk about approaching sets, which a set is like, multiple women for the audience that might be wondering. Multiple women, maybe there's even some guys in there. And what you're doing is you're coming in, introducing yourself, and you're telling stories that demonstrate these 5 attraction triggers that you just mentioned. And you're kind of like humble bragging about it, and people can come to that logical conclusion that you exhibit these traits through the story. But then there were other things you mentioned as well, like pulling them to another venue. Can you kind of go through that process real quick, as like from opening a set all the way to closing the deal?
Oh, if you'd like, that's a set of phases that fill the timeline of your pickup. Let's zoom in. Let's discuss the phases. Before we get to the 9 linear phases in a successful courtship, let's talk about the 3 main stages.
Okay.
You see, there's a beginning, middle, and ending phase to each of the 3 stages. That's why there are 9. Otherwise, there's only 3 main stages. And I think we can all agree that the stages have to happen in order. First, the first stage is attraction. We have to have traction before the second stage, which is comfort. Building comfort with someone with no attraction leads to let's just be friends.
Yep.
So we want attraction first. But now you can't jump over comfort and compromise your comfort and go straight to the third phase, or stage rather, which is seduction. You must go in order: attraction, then comfort, then seduction. The idea behind this is scientific in nature. It's backwards rationalized from that which worked. It's logical to trigger attraction first, mutual attraction, so you can demonstrate that you're attracted to her as well, and then move on to comfort, building a growing comfort, familiarity, intimacy, at the very least, connection, which is really the core of comfort, is building connection. Removal of lack of discomfort, removing discomfort. That's what comfort's about. And the interesting thing is, if you have attraction and comfort, quite likely by then she'll seduce you. Women are better seducers than men generally, at least better than me. So I like mutual seduction, or I would like to be seduced. You have attraction and comfort, you'll get to seduction. Now, what we've done, or what I've done, is I've taken these three main stages, which you cannot all do at once. You can't open in seduction, or you could try. But if you get a no, how many no's do you have to get until you start learning that it's actually almost offensive to open in seduction?
Mm-hmm.
So let's now zoom into the first three phases, which is the beginning, middle, and ending of the attraction stage.
Mm-hmm.
The first is A1, the second is A2, the third is A3. I've just named them so we can talk about them. So we can then, once we learn the objectives of each of these phases, we can take material, these are the gambits, the words we say, the material we use to convey our personality, and we bolt them into the proper phases. So A1, the objective is simply to open, to initiate a conversation with a group of people you haven't met before. Now, 2/3 of all approach scenarios are the three set, are a group of three people, guys or girls. That's a mixed set. That counts as a three set. So you're going to have to work groups. So focus, instead of trying to pick up a girl all by her onesie, and you never meet her friends, she never meets your friends, which is quite, odd. It feels uncomfortable, almost damn near creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Meeting her friends, and then her friends meeting your friends, and you're getting to know each other that way. That's much more. It gives more potential to a love story, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Following A1, opening the set using the material of openers, and I've written a book. Hey guys, it's a book of openers, 60 plus openers, more than enough to handle a myriad of approach scenarios. Once we've done A1 and we've opened successfully, 15 to 30 seconds in is all it takes, we move forward to A2, which is the core of attraction, where I'm going to demonstrate higher value, DHV, demonstrate higher value to her, and elicit, draw out of her IOIs, and her meaning the woman of interest within that group.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have 2 or 3 indicators of interest, that's, a pattern is forming that she's demonstrating interest in me. I will then slow it down and say, is there more to you than meets the eye? And get her to qualify me. Now, that one gambit, is there more to you than meets the eye? It's just one example of a gambit. There are many qualifiers, but that's one example of a qualifier. That qualifying is so important, by the way, that it is a phase, not just a gambit, not just a game piece. But if you run 4 or 5 gambits that are qualifier gambits in the third phase of A3, you will complete the objective of the phase, which is to allow her to feel like you're attracted to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mirror opposite of A2. In A2, you're DHVing and she's IOIing, giving indicators of interest
Mm-hmm.
for you showing value. And in A3, the opposite is happening. You're getting her to DHV you so that you can then perhaps positively misinterpret everything as awesome and IOI her for having done so. Make sense?
Yes, you're rewarding good behavior.
3 phases of pickup, and that completes attraction. Once you've done that, once you've finished qualifying her for 8 to 12 minutes on average, you will move into a lock-in position, a sit-down position, grab yourself a seat with her and her friends if necessary, if not isolating her from her friends, 10 minutes in with permission from the peer group, and then you're in comfort. And that's the first phase of comfort is C1. And you're on to the comfort and leading off to seduction. over time. There's more to it, but we can definitely have zoomed into the first part, which is pickup. A1, A2, A3, move to C1. Every set, A1, A2, A3, move to C1. A1, open, false time constraint. A2, DHV, neg. Prime her to want to qualify herself. Then A3, qualify her. Move the set. Then C1, start building comfort with comfort building gambits. If you do that successfully enough times, you will master the game.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go, guys. And now you see why he's a legend. And everyone that you know that's in this space, that's helping guys with getting women, typically is following that structure to some degree. This is like the main rubric that a lot of people built their game off of. So just to recap, attraction, comfort, seduction are the three big components. And then within attraction, you break it down to three other levels. You got A1, which is opening the set, approaching them, saying hello with your opener, whatever it may be, which mine used to be, hey, you're almost as cute as me, haha, right? Break it with kind of a funny situation, like a funny pickup line, right? Then you demonstrate high value, brag, not necessarily brag about yourself, but do it through, telling stories or whatever. And then she shows indicators of interest. I know there was a bunch that you would put in your book, touching her hair, if I'm not mistaken, you'd call that preening, scratching her arm like this, looking up at you. There was some other IOIs you had mentioned in the book. And when she shows this, then you qualify her, and then you try to move the set, get her to follow you, and then have that one-on-one conversation to build comfort. So that's kind of a summary of what he was just saying, guys. And sorry, what did you say something? Oh,
I had a question.